Perfectly excellent.
Hey! How's it going? How's it going, party people? Welcome to Perfectly Excellent. Episode number 32. 32.
Not that we're counting.
We've done this 31 times.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's 32.
We should go back and do a retro. We should look at episodes 1 and 2 and see if we've gotten more betters.
Let's not do that. Let's leave any potential away. Like let's just
Kylo Ren, like let the past die. Is that what you?
Yeah,
want?
let's just assume they were great.
They were, of course.
And then it's only been uphill since then.
Obviously.
Welcome to Tuesday. How are you doing?
I'm doing good for a Tuesday, considering we had off yesterday. Oh, you did not have off yesterday.
I did not have off yesterday. I was working yesterday. I was working today. I'm tired. I'm very tired. I'm remarkably tired considering how much time off I've had lately.
Yeah, it does not equate, does not compute.
Yeah, aren't you supposed to take like a whole bunch of time off and then you come back recharged, invigorated, ready to conquer the world?
I don't know. In theory, I think that's what everybody says, but I have not experienced that in my life.
I come back thinking, wow, this is somehow even worse than it was before.
Yeah, it's fun.
I much prefer not doing anything.
It's fun to come back and then be completely drained by noon on that first day back after a break. Like, it's just like, I just should never take time off.
Good stuff.
Cool.
Well, hey, we're here. We got some stuff to talk about. Usually the first thing we do is an invention exchange. So would you like to exchange some inventions?
I am very excited about my invention to exchange today. So.
Oh, well, then you're going to go first.
Okay, let's do it.
Perfectly excellent.
What you got?
Have you ever?
Yes.
Have you ever had something?
No.
And then you no longer have it? Wait, it's a multi-part question.
Oh, sorry. I'm getting ahead of the game.
So have you ever had something and then you no longer have it and then you would like to have it again and then you debate for a very, very long time if you should get it again and then you finally get it and then you have it and you're excited? Take your time. Process.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Because this next thing is something that I had. I got rid of it. Like, I think we should do a show about, maybe I could just do it. I don't know if you have enough to add, but the stupid things that I've gotten rid of over the years that I regret. But this is something I sold because at the time I didn't need it. And I don't know, like we've been talking a lot about the importance of getting the things that mean something to us. And I didn't really know how happy this would make me when it showed up.
Can I ask a question before you show it?
Sure. When
you originally had it, when was that? When you were a child or is this more recent than that?
Man-child. It wasn't recent, but I was definitely an adult. This is not a childhood memory. Which is kind of silly, but I got it again, so I won't beat around the bush, but I finally got.
Oh, you pulled the trigger.
I pulled the trigger. I saw a great deal on an AGS 101 model. And I am
the IG88 model.
The IG88, see, look at this.
Yeah, that's
so beautiful.
That's on. Great.
Yeah, you hear the sound there? Yeah, I am just like, I haven't stopped like kind of geeking out about it. Just like, it's in great condition. The guy put it up for a song. So to the point that I think I wonder if it's a reshell or something. But it's checking all the boxes for me. So I'm really, really psyched. Yay.
I feel like I shouldn't have sold the flash cart for it that I had.
I'm eyeing up getting a new one.
I'm sure there's got to be better ones now because mine needed the printer cable.
Yeah, and I don't even think I have that port or any way to do that anymore. But I did dig out some old games that I had, some of my stuff, and it's just like, it's great. Like it's muscle memory when you kind of pick it up again and feel that in your hands. Like I spent a lot of time. Oh, and it started playing already. I spent a lot of time with this, and one thing I forgot though, which is kind of weird. I could have sworn that when you closed it, it went into sleep mode, but apparently that was not on the Game Boy Advance SP. That was only introduced on the DS. Because I thought at first, I'm like, oh, it's broken. Ooh, chicken broken. I close it, but it's still playing. But no, that was not a function of this system. So some rose tinted glasses maybe there.
Well,
but yes.
That was a long time ago, that one.
Yes.
That's like 2001?
I don't know. I mean, this game that I'm playing right now says 2002. So I think you're spot on right there.
Oh, wait. Yeah. The first one, not that one. The first Game Boy Advance, the non-backlit version. I remember I got mine when I lived in Jersey City. So that was 2001. So that one might be a couple years after that.
Yeah. But it's just, I love it so much. I'm excited. It's such a great. The only problem is I don't have a charge cable for it. Did not come with one, so I have one coming. So my enjoyment might last, or might be short-lived if the battery runs out at me and before that other cable comes in. But yeah, super psyched. Great price. Glad to finally have it, and it'll just go nicely with all my other little handheld doodads that are all over the place. So
very nice.
So yay!
No, that's a good one. That's a good one. Again, it's very much, we'll talk about this in a little bit, but it's very much the new mantra: out with the old, in with the important.
And yes, and this is super important. So
yeah, and that's what matters.
Yes.
So mine, I wouldn't call mine super important, but this is another one of those toys that I had when I was a kid. Okay. It's one that does not involve me having to collect an entire line because I only had the one figure. So I decided I wanted this figure again. I picked it up and I'm very happy.
Hey, it's that guy, RoboForce. Very cool.
That guy. So this happened to be in the box. I don't really care that it's in the box. I just wanted a nice complete one. So I wanted to show you the box.
It is now out of the box.
It's now out of the box. He's got his weapons. He does the thing.
Yep. How are his rubbery parts after all these years? Everything copacetic? Yeah,
his throat muscles are all rubbery.
Yes, I know.
Very good. No, he's in really nice shape.
Yeah, it looks great. I'm a sucker for robots, so these guys speak right to my heart. Very cool.
Yeah, I like them, but I'm drawing the line. I don't need all. There's a bunch of them, and they're all really kind of cool looking, but I don't need them all. I had that one when I was a kid. That was the only one I had when I was a kid, and now I have him again. Good old Max Steel.
Yep, you are complete.
I am, and I'm feeling good. And the box is going to go in the attic, and Max is going to go on that shelf over there, and it'll be lovely.
That's what I was going to ask. One day you'll have to show us that shelf over there, that mythical shelf that we don't get to see.
We're working on it. We'll talk about this in a little bit. Cool.
Well, that's a stellar invention exchange, if ever.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Oh, I have one mini one that I want to also show.
But wait, there's more.
This would never be worth an actual invention exchange. This is just one of those dumb little things that, again, I wanted, so I just bought. I got an old school 80s Nerds candy canister. This is what Nerds used to come in when they first came out.
Really? I don't know that I ever remember seeing them come in that thing.
Yeah. And you bought like one flavor of Nerds.
Wait, that doesn't make sense. Only one flavor of Nerds?
Yeah. So, and they had a lemon one back then. So I bought one of these. It was only a couple bucks, but again, makes me happy. I had a bunch of them when I was a kid. Because that's what Nerds came in.
When was the last time you had Nerds?
Not that long ago, because I really like those kind of candies, but I was informed within the last couple of years that I should probably limit my intake of high fructose corn syrup, which kind of kills all of those kind of candy. So
yes, that's like the primary ingredient, right?
Yeah, I have not had them in like about a year and a half or so. But prior to that, I had them, I wouldn't say regularly, but often enough. I like them.
Well, cheers to that.
Excellent. Drink up.
Yes.
So, should we move on to the main event of the evening?
Do you have a thingy, or we're just going to go right into it?
I always have a thingy.
All right, let's see your thingy.
Stop that.
Perfectly excellent.
It's 2026.
You've got this job where you just sit. Yes. Excellent. It is 2026.
So let's not talk about 2025. We'll talk about 2026. And when I posted about this on Blue Sky, I said, we want to talk about what we're looking forward to in 2026. But for like innocuous stuff. Like obviously there are a ton of things that would be really nice if they would happen in 2026 at a global scale that are actually important, but we're going to focus on some of the more nonsensical things that aren't that important.
Yes.
Movies, toys, ideas of what we want to do, like that kind of stuff.
Asteroids smashing into our planet, you know.
That's fine, but like I got some things coming in the mail first that I'd like to get.
That's true. And I would like to get my dragon before that happens. Like it could happen on the same day, but you know, dragon first, then fiery
and
death.
The snowcat is still a while out. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on.
It would be a bummer for all life on this planet to cease to exist before those items have been fulfilled. So
before I can put that on my shelf.
Yes. So where do we begin? Because I think we got a lot of stuff to chat about here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of like, what do we want to talk about some specific things, or do we want to kind of talk about hopes, dreams, ideas? I feel like it's probably easier to start with something kind of, you know, normal stuff. Like I think you had mentioned, you know, starting with the entertainment stuff, movies, TV, music, that kind of stuff. That feels like a nice, easy place to start to me.
Yeah, and again, like I've done this for the past couple of years. I started doing this after COVID, where I was just like feeling miserable all the time. So I tried to make a list of things that I was looking forward to. And like you said, they're meaningless things. They're like movies, TV shows, or something like that. But enough little hits like that, they add up.
They help you get through the day. Like, listen, if you just look at the outside world right now, it can be somewhat horrifying and awful and depressing. And if you do nothing but sit in that, that's not really ultra healthy. So I feel like it's important to have these necessary distractions.
Yes. And again, we talked about it last episode. It's difficult, but it's necessary. So, but I was having a tough time actually getting my list together for 2026. And maybe it's still early days and there's not a lot happening, but I started looking like, you know, I'll start with movies, for example, right? Some of the things that are coming out. Probably the biggest one for me is the Mandalorian and Grogu. But you very, very like wisely pointed out, like, what is this movie even about at this point?
No clue. I don't know what it's about. I don't know when it's happening. Is how much of the other Mandoverse stuff is getting pulled in? Like, is Thrawn going to be in it? Like, we don't really know anything, which does not mean I'm not excited about it. I am very excited about it. I'm excited that you and I are going to go see some Star Wars in the movie theater, since we haven't done that since 2019.
Jeez.
So yeah, it's been a moment. So I'm also looking forward to that. Definitely on my list. I wouldn't put it as the top movie on my list, but it is up there.
You have more. I'm intrigued. What's on the or do you want to go to the top, or you want to work your way to it?
We'll work our way to it. Are there other things on your list?
Yeah, for movies, I don't have much. I have Project Hail Mary, which looks super, super fun from the trailer. I know they kind of give a lot away in the trailer, but from what I've read, if you buy the book, like a lot of this is kind of on the back cover of the book anyway. So it's a spoiler, but there's a lot more going on there. I don't really know a ton about it. They shoot this guy out into space to try to save the planet. And I guess spoiler is that he meets someone in space. And oh,
I think I saw the preview for that on.
Yeah, it looks I watched it and I said, this looks intriguing. I might go see this.
All right.
And then there was another one coming out that is not on my list, but it made me chuckle when I looked up movies, and that is Super Troopers 3 is apparently coming out this year.
Did you ever see the second one?
No, you said it was very bad.
I didn't see it.
Oh, I thought you said it was bad, or was it?
I haven't seen that one.
Whatever movie I guess they made after Super.
Yes,
Troopers.
Club Dread was very bad.
Yeah, okay,
that was bad. But
I did not see any of those. And then the last one on my list is there's a Resident Evil movie, which
another one. Hasn't there been like 30 of those already?
There has been, so I'm curious to know more about that. But again, I didn't look into these. I just pulled up, I'm like, hey, what's coming out this year? You know, what jumps out at me? I already said the Masters of the Universe thing jumped out at me because I was like, what the heck is that?
Yeah, I don't have high hopes for that, so that's not on my list. Well,
No.
I'm sure I'll see it. I don't know if I'll see it in the theater, but I'm sure I'll see it, and we'll see what happens. But I'm worried that if anything, it's just going to disrupt the toy line, and I don't need that. I don't need toy line disruption right now.
Well, you said that one dude is in it, which does not bode well for that movie.
No. So we'll see. So the other ones on my list are, the first one is Coyote versus Acme, that Looney Tunes movie that was made a couple years ago, and then they like shelved it for like a tax write-off. But there was like enough groundswell that someone else finally bought it out from under them, and they're going to release it. So I think the story might intrigue me more than the movie does, but I definitely want to see that one. Plus, I like Looney Tunes. Like that's always.
Is it like a documentary or is it like an actual movie? Like
it's a movie. It's basically like the coyote is suing Acme, and it's sort of like a Roger Rabbit, like Live People cartoon mix.
Fascinating. I did not see that one when I did a quick browse. So
I'm
that
excited
sounds
about
interesting.
That. I am excited about the Street Fighter movie. That looks ridiculous enough that I think it will be amusing. Plus, there are several pro wrestlers in it, which I think also makes that even more amusing. So as long as it's supremely over the top and campy, I'm into it.
Okay, I might add that to my list. That could be fun. And I'm a sucker for a good video game-ish movie too.
My number one is not coming out until November, and that will be Godzilla Minus Zero, which will be the sequel to Godzilla Minus One. That is far and away the number one movie on my list.
I'm not following the math on that. And that's another one I didn't catch. Yeah,
Zero is less than one. And it's the second one, so it's less.
So there's nothing left.
Right.
Okay. I know. I saw Godzilla Minus One with you, and it was like not at all what I expected. I absolutely loved it. So I would definitely be down for this. All right, cool. Yeah. I'm gonna have to add both of those to my list. Good finds.
Good stuff. So I had a harder time with TV shows, and I mostly ended up with next seasons of a bunch of stuff that I already know that I like. The only new one on here I have on my list, and I'm letting you know that there is probably a 97% chance it will be awful, but I'm excited to see what happens.
Ahsoka?
That's the Muppet Show.
Oh, there is a new Muppet thing. That's right.
But it's good. It's the Muppet Show. They're doing like a redo of the Muppet Show, like the same thing that it used to be back in the 70s. So I do not have high hopes for it, but I've just been waiting for Disney to do something worthwhile with the Muppets after all these years.
Didn't they do a TV show like a year or two ago?
They did an Electric Mayhem show that was horrendous, and I couldn't get through it. Wow. They did some other thing before that was also terrible, and I couldn't get through that either. Yeah. So I'm hopeful that going back to the original formula might give it a better shot, but who knows? So that's the only new thing on my list. Everything else is just more of stuff I like already.
Yeah, I want the Muppets to succeed, but like I don't know is it us maybe, or is it just no, it's not us, because they did that Muppets Haunted Mansion thing. Two things that I love, and it was painful. I thought we would enjoy it as a family. We sat down. Nobody wanted to finish it. It was so bad. Will Arnett was in it. I don't know if you saw it, but it was atrocious. That was really sad.
Post Jim Henson Muppets is very spotty.
Difficult.
Yeah, very difficult. Yeah. So the other things on my list again are just more seasons of stuff that I like. I'm excited about Monarch season 2, even though I don't like the American Godzilla movies. All that. I like the first one. The second two I didn't really like, but I really liked Kong Skull Island. That's actually my favorite of all of them. And the Monarch season 1 was the best thing that has happened with that whole universe so far.
Oh, nice.
And supposedly season 2 is going to focus more on the King Kong stuff anyway. So I'm hopeful that will be good. So I'm excited.
What is that on? Is that on?
It's on Apple TV.
Oh, Apple. Okay.
Plus. Is there a plus? I think it's a plus.
Apple TV Plus extra
bonus.
Ultimate.
Yeah, something like that. I think the second season of Daredevil, it will be out this year. I like the first one, so that'll be fun. And then the next 3 are ones that I think are coming out this year, but I'm not entirely positive. So like Ahsoka, I think that's coming out this year.
I looked it up because I wasn't sure either. It did say 2026, but I'm skeptical on that.
Yeah.
But maybe.
So I'm excited about that. The next season of this show that I like called The Bear, which is like a show about a little restaurant. I really, really like that show a lot. So I think they're going to have another season. And they're supposedly going to do a second season of Shogun, which is interesting to me because the first season was basically like an adaptation of the book Shogun.
Okay.
And there wasn't a second book. But they're going to make a second season of the show. So I'm curious how that's going to go.
AI, I think it's going to be all AI.
I hope not. But I really like the first season of Shogun, so I will definitely watch that. So I'm not sure if those 3 are all coming out this year, but if they are, cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to look the things I made note. I'll start with ones that are new because there are lots of additional seasons this year. There is a Spider-Man Noir show coming out that I am super, super intrigued about. Again, know nothing about it. I don't know if it's live action, animated. I just saw it and I'm like, ooh, that is something I will definitely check out. I love that character and it'd be cool to see. It'd be cool to see if done right. Right. There is also Stranger Things Tales from 85, which this
cartoon?
is. Yeah, this is the cartoon, but I'm interested, like to see where they go with that. I do like the Stranger Things universe, so. And I guess I really don't. I guess everything else is sequels here, or not sequels, but more like Silo season 3. I think is coming out this year. We're already in Fallout season 2, which I'm enjoying immensely. We've got Ahsoka season 2, Invincible season 3, The Boys season 5, which I am absolutely cannot wait for that one. So stuff.
All right, yeah. So that's good. You had also put down on here music, and I was curious if you actually had anything on that list.
I don't. I wish I did, but
I assumed it was there for me. But
yeah, I would like. I'd be really happy if they released a Metroid Prime 4 soundtrack. I don't think that's available yet. It might be on Nintendo's like streaming app, but I would love to see that soundtrack released. But no, I don't have anything. There's no bands that I know that I'm like, oh, it'd be great if they did another album.
So for me, I have like new music and then the kind of like reissues, but like new music, obviously any John Reese related albums to come out would be delightful. There's the last Hot Snakes album that got recorded before Rick Froberg passed. It'd be nice for that to come out. Obviously, I would certainly be super excited if there was a new Rocket from the Crypt record, but they have been back together since 2013 and have yet to provide said new record. So
they're pacing themselves. I
don't know that one's going to happen, but I would love any new John Reese stuff. Would always be welcome in my household. The Steve Admick Band is way overdue for a new record, so I would love there to be a new Steve Admick Band record. And then the one that I know for sure is actually coming out is there's going to be a new Mrs. Magician record, and I enjoy them immensely. So that will be fun.
So there's stuff.
Yeah. As far as like reissues go, I kind of have like a lot of stuff that like I want to get reissued, but I don't know that it will. And the bulk of it, honestly, is hip hop stuff. There's these 2 Maestro Fresh West records that I really would like nice versions of. They're really expensive, the old ones. Some of them, like the one you can't even find, Black Tie Affair. It's impossible to find that record.
Chances of are they happening, or you're just hopeful that
I'm hoping.
Okay.
There's this group. It was kind of like, how there are like a lot of kid rappers in the 90s, like Criss Cross and stuff like that.
That's probably the only one I could think of. Sure.
Good. Well, there was one that was affiliated with like the Cypress Hill House of Pain groups called the Hooligans. Okay. And that album never got released ever.
Really?
But I've heard it because of the internet, and it's a lovely record. So I'm hopeful that maybe someone will put that out.
Well, maybe 2026 is the year that the Hooligans finally.
It would be nice. Like. It would be really nice. And I do think, I'm not sure if it'll be this year, but I think the third Fig Dish record will be reissued this year.
Which one was the third one? Do we count the first one?
When Shove goes back to Push.
Okay, so a good one.
Yeah, no, cool. not the Unleash the Kraken. That's that first kind of rough one.
That we
always forget.
I thought it was a different band, but then everything you looked at the address and it all matched up. Cool. So, well, that's some stuff. Some things that are happening. Some things you're hopeful for. So
yeah. So, but and then when we get to the last of the entertainment thing, it comes to games, and this is where I have to just kind of go. I don't know. I'm not really looking forward to any new games.
Yeah, and it's funny too because I'm not super plugged into what is new and what's happening with games these days. There's only one game on the list that's new. That is not even new. It's a Mega Man Star Force collection. So Star Force were the Mega Man games that came after Mega Man Battle Network. I think they were primarily on the DS, and I never really played these. So I'm interested to go back and check them out in a collection that comes out. And the only other thing I had on my list was the Indiana Jones game that came out maybe a year ago. That's coming to the Switch too, and that's one that I've been eager to play, and I haven't gotten around to it. So aside from those, like I really want to start tackling my backlog this year, and I've been enjoying playing older games more and more. Yeah. So I'm currently playing Alien 3, which was a Super Nintendo game that I absolutely love.
I am stuck on this one board in Adventures of Lolo 3, and I'm being kind of stubborn about looking up help as to how to get through it.
Don't do it.
I've had to do it like as I finished the first game, the second game, and now like probably 3/4 of the way through the third game. I've had to look up, I think, two or three boards throughout the entirety of those games. This is one that's really frustrating me because I'm looking at it and I'm like doing the math as far as how many eggs I have and how many obstacles there are. And like, I just can't see how you block everything that you need to block. So like, I'm being a little stubborn about this. No. But after I'm done with Adventures of Lolo 3, I'm going to start playing the Japanese Eggerland games that preceded it. So okay. I'm going to just kind of keep working through that. That's what's on my, 2026 game list.
Nice. And that's good stuff, but definitely fight that urge. I try so hard not to look things up until I've like absolutely had it. And it seems every time I do, I feel so stupid. I'm like, oh, that's what you were supposed to do.
I've been stuck on this board for about 3 weeks now.
Okay.
So I'm losing patience with it. And I don't even know why I've let it sit this long, because the other ones that I did, it only took me like about 2 or 3 days where I was like, I just don't know what to do here. There's got to be a way to figure it out. And I also try to only read it up to a point. Like I read them like, do this thing's like, oh, that thing. Okay. And then try to work out the rest of it myself.
Cool.
But this one's very confusing. I don't understand it.
There's a game I would love for you to try like at some point. It's not a super retro game, but it's not, I forgot what system it came out on. Maybe it came out on like the PS Vita, and I think it was on the Wii U. Is this game called it was called originally Stealth Bastard, but on the Nintendo on Wii U, I think they called it Stealth Incorporated. And it you just made me think of it because it has those puzzles where I would come into this room, I'm like, there's no way. There's just no way. And then you start to figure out all the mechanics that would work. It reminded me of Portal, but not at all gameplay wise, just dark kind of humor and the sarcastic charm of it all and the brutality of it. It was definitely gave me that Portal type of story vibe. Great game, It's not on Switch, no. So you can play it on your doodad. But we'll have to go through some steps to make that happen.
Okay, I might my thing needs some help. I'm having some issues with it.
Okay, got it. So. You're Odin. Let's clarify in case anybody's wondering.
My Odin.
Yes, cool.
The other thing, that's another show.
Yeah, exactly. But as far as games,
that's Perfectly Excellent After Dark.
Plus, Perfectly Excellent Plus, right? Yeah.
You have to sign up for our Patreon for that conversation.
Yeah, the link's in the comments or links in the description. Yeah, I'm maybe more stuff will be announced. What I'm hoping for, like you talked about Opes with records and stuff, I'm hoping for some re-releases this year as well. I would love to see some remasters of some of the older Zelda games. Like there's a couple Game Boy Color games. Oh gosh, and I'm drawing a blank. It was Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. Now these were great games. I love them. I would love to see like a remaster of those for Switch. I would love to see, Wind Waker HD finally be properly released on the Switch, because that's one I'm dying to play through again. And yeah, maybe some other Nintendo games, but I don't know. My optimism is a little low that will happen this year. Yeah. Nintendo likes their subscription service, and you can play like these old games through that. So I don't think there's not a drive for them to re-release them.
Well, they did Advance Wars.
they did do Advance Wars, which was like completely blew my mind that they went back to that. So
we'll see.
Yes, you never know.
That's I think that's all we have for the entertainment.
That is the entertainment, correct?
I would love to talk a little bit about toy stuff though, because that's one of those things where if you had asked me this question last year, my answers would probably have been much different than they are this year. Because
how so?
I've grown as a human being, and what I want out of my toy collection is different than what it used to be.
Okay.
And it's funny, like you put a note in here about something about in this little art outline that we kind of put together just to make sure we knew vaguely what we were talking about. And I feel like it might be a weird place to start, but you had written something about avoiding one and done figures. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about that.
Sure.
So why did you write that? Like, what do you mean by that? And let me rephrase that. What does that mean to you? Why, what is it? And why do you want to avoid it?
Yeah, I realized this was kind of like a brain dump for my head. So it's probably going to mean something much different to you. And I'm eager to hear that. But to me, a lot of times I found myself where I see a figure and I think, oh, I really want to take this photo of that figure. And then I have no other use or ideas or anything for that figure at all beyond that. So that's what I consider in my head is a one and done. It's like I buy it for a specific photo, take the photo, and then that figure just sits in my collection, taking up space forever when I should not have picked it up in the first place. So I'm going to be very, very careful about if I buy something, I want to buy figures that I'm buying for photography that are versatile, that that I can get my money's worth out of, that can maybe good articulation, have a lot of good accessories, things of that nature. So, and I know this is going to be very, very different for you. So I'm curious, your take on a one and done.
Well, it's funny because my take on the one and done is, one of the things I want to change about the way I collect and what I want to do in 2026 is buy one and done figures. And for me, a one and done figure is I just like this figure. I don't want to feel like I have to collect the whole line just because I want this one.
You're
just because
RoboForce.
I want this one figure.
Yeah.
So I want to be more comfortable buying one and dones, because in the past, my dumb collector brain was just like, well, looks like I'm buying that line now. And I don't want to get into that. One, because it's silly. Two, because it's expensive. And three, because I just don't have the room to do things like that anymore. So I want to buy more one and done figures. I want to see a singular figure that I'm like, that figure is awesome. Sure, it's part of a line, but I don't need the line. I just like that one. And I want to be more comfortable buying those. And I want to figure out better ways to display those, because all of my stuff is very regimented right now. So, and some of it will continue to be, because like the lines that I collect, obviously you keep the line together, but I want there to be more space for one-offs.
All right. Well, hey, my lizard brain needs to catch up on that one, because looking at it that way, I still do feel that collector urge that, like, if I'm going to get this, I need to get the rest.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I'm gonna try to approach that from both angles. Like, I will do one and done if there's something I want, and try not to feel obligated to buy the rest of the line. But also, I'm not going to buy a figure that is just going to be one photo and into a box. Like, there has to be more life for that figure at some point.
You need display value out of it.
Unless it has display value. Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, these figures that I'm buying are purely just something that I buy. I have this idea for a photo, and then that's it. Then away it goes.
All right. But as far as like other toys and stuff, I kind of was just thinking about, like, maybe let's start with like just like modern stuff, or like lines that we're kind of actively collecting, and maybe what we're hoping for out of there. I think I probably fall more into that category than you do, at least historically, as far as like just continuing to buy a line. And I'm really cutting back on a lot of that. And I really want to just focus on 3 modern lines for the most part.
Okay.
The first one being, G.I. Joe Classified. I really, really love those figures. Already there's some stuff that's coming out this year that I'm really excited about. They're doing Zap, who's another one of those original 13 figures. That's cool. They're doing Deep Six, who was like the weird guy he was like a submarine guy.
Okay.
And the vintage figure had like a pump on him, and he would like submerge underwater. He's just like this really big, chunky guy in like a scuba suit. So I'm
Okay.
excited about that. Those ones are definitely coming. There's a ton of figures I want. Like they got to make Toll Booth. Toll Booth was one of my favorites when I was a kid. He had this orange construction hat. He drove the bridge layer.
I got to look at these photos. I'm sure I'll recognize them, but I'm struggling.
So, but as far as wants go, I actually really want, in addition to Toll Booth, I really want 2 vehicles.
Okay.
I want the Fang, which is the little black Cobra helicopter, the single-seater helicopter. It was really early.
You want a vintage one, or you want a?
No. I want a classified one. I want a
cool.
classified one.
Is that a real thing, or you're hoping that's a thing?
No, I'm hoping that they do one of those. They should. It's small enough to where they should be able to do it, and it's an iconic enough vehicle that it's sort of surprising they haven't done it already. Especially since they did make the Dragonfly copter, so having a Cobra copter would not be out of question. And again, it's not big. It wouldn't have to be a HasLab or anything like that. It's a single figure vehicle. So I'm hoping they do that. And then when it comes time to do the HasLab this year, I want the Moray hydrofoil. I want them to do that boat, that giant.
Did we figure out how big this would have to be, though?
It would be very large. It would be very, very large. But it's what I want. That's my favorite G.I. Joe vehicle. So I want a classified hydrofoil real bad. And they alternate Joe vehicles and Cobra vehicles for the HasLabs each year. It's Cobra's turn.
Okay.
I'm having a hard time thinking of a more well-known vehicle of theirs that would fit into the HasLab situation. Like, if it's not the Moray, I don't really know what it could be that would be that exciting, unless they did something from like later in the line when I like stopped playing with those.
I would love that, like that stealth fighter that they had.
The Night Raven.
That was a Cobra one. Yeah.
That would also be long. That would be big. But those are probably the only 2 like super iconic large Cobra vehicles that I could think of that a lot of people would be excited about. I tell you this though, I might be wrong, but I feel like if they did the Moray, that would fund in a day.
At what price? What would that be? 600?
I would figure it can't go under 4.
Okay.
But I think that would fund in a day, because like that's how much I think people love that vehicle.
What if they did they couldn't do it, the aircraft carrier? That'd be insane.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that would fit in my hallway, let alone like one of my rooms. Cool. They could maybe do a chunk of it as like a play set.
Oh, that's an idea. Yeah, well, I hope for you. I hope they do it. I guess we'll wait and see. But
yeah. The other 2 modern lines that I'm continuing to go on are like the Masters of the Universe Origins. I believe they're 9 figures away from completing the vintage collection now, like all of the vintage figures. So I want to get those. And then I'm also still buying one-off non-vintage figures when they're cool. I don't feel compelled that I have to buy everything, but if I see something neat, I'll keep picking those up. But I want those final 9 figures to finish that off. And then the Godzilla reaction figures as they keep going, especially like there's a handful of lesser known Showa era monsters that they have not yet done. And I'm really hopeful for that. I really want an Ebera. I really want a lot of the like Monster Island, Godzilla versus the Sea monsters like Spiga the spider and like the praying mantis, Kamacuras. I want more of that kind of stuff too. Those are like the 3 lines that I'm really kind of keeping up on, with which I will give a slight also to the Thundercats Ultimates line, because there's a handful of figures that I'm waiting on to finish my collection up for them. I don't need every Thundercats thing that's coming out, but there's like 4 or 5 figures that I'd like to eventually get.
Are they out, or you're thinking this year they might come out?
I don't think that all of them. I think maybe I'll get 1 or 2, maybe. Okay. Because I would imagine they'll probably do 2 more waves of them before the year's out. So there might be 1. I'm not buying any more. Like, I don't watch it as a line. There's, I have enough of them to where there's just a couple people I'm waiting on.
All right. Very cool. Yeah, I don't know that I have lines that I'm really looking at. I was trying to think. Like I'm very interested in NECA, what they're doing with the with Sesame Street, but I don't know that I'll get all of them. And I certainly have learned not to buy them at launch or not to pre-order them because those seem to go on sale. I think like Best Buy had some discount on like Bert and Ernie, so I picked them up. Same thing with the Jada Toys Mega Men. Like I put a pause on that. I'm like, these guys Amazon will always blow these out. Like I have to stop being the sucker who's paying full price every time for these things.
I'm always that sucker too. Don't feel bad.
Yeah, I'm trying, and this will be the year that it doesn't happen, right? Where they just sell out and that's it. But
and then you're gone, and then you're overpaying for them.
But no, I think I'll be okay with that. Like I'm trying to be more rational about this stuff. Like, hey, if I don't get it, I don't need to have everything. I don't know that there's any other lines. If SHF or Sentinel release any more Into the Spider-Verse figures, like I'll be all over that. But I don't know that there's anything new coming out in that line until the new movie, which is like 2027 now. So not anticipating that. I want my dragon. I'm looking forward to, but I don't know if that's going to be this year or not.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to my Snowcat. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then the other stuff that I'm kind of looking forward to isn't really, I guess it's sort of a line, but it's also not even really toys. It's those McMiniature playground equipment pieces, the McDonald's playground equipment pieces. Like I'll get my slide. I'll get my Captain Crook slide this year for sure. And nice. I'm really eager to see what other pieces he's going to start doing. I know he's talked a little bit about maybe doing some indoor pieces as well of the outdoor playground equipment, but we'll see how that goes. My apple pie tree really could use some tables, so I'm hopeful I want him to start doing some of the weird innocuous stuff like tables and fences and things like that.
Yeah. So until you have a whole interior McDonald's.
I think it will be lovely. So I'm looking forward to that as far as another thing. It's not really, it's toy adjacent, I suppose.
Yep. Yeah, I don't really have much else. Beetlejuice from NECA is still like, but I'm cherry picking the ones that I want out of that line.
So when we had an episode not too long ago where we were talking a lot about like grails and things like that. Have you given any thought to those things? And if you're also looking at rethinking the way you collect, is that the sort of thing that where you're starting to put any higher priority on some of that kind of stuff, those older pieces that you want to get back in the collection, especially as, like me, you're working through your room and you're working through changing how you display things, which I assume is something we'll be talking about later on as well.
Yeah, I am. I've been going back to the Kenner Beetlejuice figures because I got the one at Pandora that one day, and I may have picked up another one since then. But because these are ones that I had, like, yeah, I don't think I really played with them as kids. I think by the time they came out, I wasn't playing with toys, and I wasn't in my head thinking I'm collecting them. I was just like, oh, look, there's Beetlejuice stuff. I'm going to buy it. And, I know I still have some of them, but they're missing all sorts of various parts. So I bought a sealed one of him in the tuxedo, and I don't know. I might keep them in the package. I might open them, but it's nice to see them again. It's the out with the old, in with the important. And these are.
But are there any other things like that, either that we have or haven't talked about? Like again, like is there a world where you're trying to get that Star Wars blaster again, or is that not really your mindset?
I mean, I'm working towards that right now. I'm still focused on like I just want to get rid of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
How
about you?
Well, I again, a lot of the way I want to kind of focus what I'm buying is kind of getting those older, more important pieces. The Grails, the Rodans, the Dino Riders Tyrannosaurus, the giant Voltron sword that I had when I was a kid. Those are pieces that I'm willing to pay the appropriate amount of money for going forward. Like I want those. It's time to get those things in my collection. And if that means I buy one of those and nothing else for a few months, that's probably the way to go, as opposed to just buying things just so I have something to open in the mail, sure, a couple times a week. So I'm interested in both in Grails and then also just more older toys. Like I really want to get some GoBots. They're so weird. And when I was a kid, they were very much not cool at all. It's like, These are those crummy things that aren't Transformers.
Yeah, you were slumming it if you had some GoBots, right?
Yeah, but looking back at them now, there's just so many goofy ones that I'm very fond of their designs. Like there's this one that's a Rolls Royce and it transforms into a robot, and the robot has like a metal top hat on
That's
it.
classic. See, now that's good. That's good fun.
Because he's fancy.
Of
So
course.
I want to maybe start getting some of those. I don't really have a place for those yet, so I have to do that thoughtfully.
Yeah,
But-
bide your time there.
But things like that, I really want to again keep going after the important things, keep going after the things that for one reason or another I haven't bought, either because of money, because of space, or because I was like, oh, I don't want to have to buy every Dino Rider because like I can't afford all of that. I don't have enough room for that. There's like 40 of those. No, I want the Tyrannosaurus, and I want the the ones that I had when I was a kid. But the Tyrannosaurus is like the big one.
Well, I'm looking forward to a good year of an invention exchange, as we both kind of are much more thoughtful and cautious about where we're spending our money. So.
Of course, you got to be thoughtful about where you're spending your money.
Yeah, the nostalgia is there. So
but another piece of that is kind of, again, something that we're both kind of working on. I'm probably a little further ahead on it than you, but it's kind of figuring out the best way to store and display this stuff.
Yes.
To not have things in boxes, to have stuff out and enjoyable. And, that's kind of another one of those things is like, I have some stuff that I want to do. I have these ideas in my head, and I want to put the effort into making the display areas of my room work for the collections that I'm trying to build. And that's going to involve doing a lot of stuff over there that's out of camera right now.
Okay.
But I want to get different shelves. I want to get more shelves. I have like a filing cabinet with a bunch of our stuff, and I have a whole bunch of like books over there. I want to find a new home for that stuff so I can turn that area into more shelving as well.
So you got a lot of work to do this year.
Yeah, so that's something that I really want to do. And like I know that you've talked about that as you're, I know you're in the purge process right
now. And it's tough. Like I'm in the discouraged part of it. So I'm thinking, do I just cut my losses and just fill up a box and take it to a store and get it out of the house and get pennies for it? But I'm trying. I'm trying to get excited. Like again, the last few dregs I had up on eBay have sold, which much to my surprise. So
keep them going. Like I think I told you the other day, I just listed 27 more things. I found a whole bunch of vintage GI Joe figures that I'm like, these are in a box. Why if they're in a box, I don't need them.
Yeah.
So
no, and I'm trying to do that. It's just my energy for it and the enthusiasm is so low. I'm back to the point where everything's messy again. I'm like, I don't even want to deal. So hopefully I'll get a shot of like, enthusiasm to be like, all right, let's just do it. Like, and it's one of those things. Once you start doing it again, then you just keep going.
But then once you're through that part, or even as you're going through that part, like what are your goals for that room? What do you want things to look like?
Oh, so get rid of all of this stuff. Like all of, I want to redo all of this. I want to have, I wrote down the different things I want to display. I want to have a shelf that's like Beetlejuice stuff. And I started to do it a little bit. Like, I don't know if you can't see it, but back there, the top shelf, I've been putting Zelda stuff on there until I got to the point where I realized, okay, it's too big for one shelf. So I have to rethink all that. So yeah, between like, the droids down there, video game stuff, Zelda, I want things to be out, to be appreciated more, to see them, be like, oh, look at that. That's great. And not sitting in a tub that's, piled 3 tubs high. So
cool. Yeah.
And I want it to be easier more functional in here, because it's very difficult to take pictures because I'm stepping over things, and I would like to get rid of that.
All right. Well, that's probably, something that I think we need to keep encouraging each other with that stuff, to keep ourselves motivated, keep kind of working towards the goal.
Because there's a dragon coming that there's no room for a dragon right now.
You need room for a dragon. I don't really have total room for the Snowcat just yet, but I have an idea of what I'm going to do with the Snowcat. I don't need to pull the trigger on it until it comes in.
Well, I'm in deep.
I have an idea.
I'm up the creek.
Yeah,
it shows up. So,
well, just so you know, my ideas involve hanging some things from the ceiling, so that's kind of where I'm at with that right now.
In my childhood bedroom, I hung my Millennium Falcon from the ceiling. And I thought I was super clever because I took a bunch of cotton balls to make like clouds around it.
Mhm.
So it was flying to Cloud City. But good times.
Very nice, very nice.
Yep.
So, was there anything else that you wanted to talk about as far as toys go?
No, I think we covered it. Again, just very. I'm gonna like scrutinize before I hit that buy button a lot more this year. And it's already like I look at my pre-order list, and normally by the time the years start, it's already like an arm's length of pre-orders, and it has not budged at all in a long time. So
yeah, I was looking at my pre-orders as well, and honestly, it's mostly just the GI Joe stuff that I pre-ordered last year that I would have kept going with. Honestly, I mean, I know that there's going to be some more GI Joe stuff probably after Toy Fair, which we're not going to. And I thought that was the whole point of doing this show, was to get into Toy Fair.
Yeah, it was, but we didn't quite hit the numbers this year. Maybe
nor did we apply to do anything. So there's that too.
Yeah,
but that's mostly the stuff that I have on pre-order, and then like non-toy stuff, like, you know, like records and things like that. So
yeah. My pre-orders mostly rolled over from last year, things that just didn't ship. Yeah. And it's mostly from Good Smile Company. They did reissues of some Zelda and some Metroid figures. Some that I already have, but mine are kind of like maybe a little beat up. So I'll be like, oh, it'd be nice to get like you pay retail price for you know, cleaner versions of these. And some I didn't have. Like there's this one Metroid figure that I always wanted, and the resale on it was just absolutely atrocious. So it's nice, hey, I can get one for, you know, they re-released it. But those, I don't know when they're going to ship. And then I also don't know, am I going to get killed on like tariffs on these where it's going to make them not worth it? But we'll see how that goes.
Well, another piece of the puzzle that's sort of adjacent to this is like kind of how we're acquiring these things. Because you and I have been talking a lot lately, and we keep referring to it as do something.
Yes.
You know? Going out more to places to like kind of hunt around for this sort of thing, to not be as reliant on eBay, and to maybe go outside of our comfort zone as far as where we're going. Because, you know, we go to the Wayne Toy Show often enough. When they do the New Jersey Toy Con one, I haven't been to that in a couple of years, but you know, we've gone to that. It's okay. You know, it's better than the Wayne Toy Show. But we've been talking about how it's time to start doing more. It's time to start going to more things. There's a bunch of stuff that happens in South Jersey. There's a bunch of stuff that happens in Pennsylvania. Like this stuff is within striking distance. We need to do this. We need to go do something.
Yeah, and I told you recently, I fell down this rabbit hole where I've just been watching people go to flea markets. And there's like, I don't know, as they're looking through tables of junk, I'm like, man, I want to go back to looking through tables of junk where you find some like crazy gem where, you know, and this guy, I know it's edited for YouTube, but he always seems to find something, you know. And I miss that. I feel like the Wayne Show has just been the Wayne Show. Like it has not changed. Actually, I'll say it's kind of maybe gotten a little worse because it's gotten
better
smaller.
When it was in the firehouse.
Yes, it was dark, it was dirty, it smelled, you couldn't move in there, but there was so much junk. People brought like just all the junk boxes under the table, and I just don't see that anymore. So we see it's like, what did we talk about? Trying to rate it where it's basically it's the resellers, all the Target stuff that they just got to it before we did.
Funko Pops, Matchbox cars,
and wrestling stuff. There's always the wrestling stuff.
There's a ton of I am a really big wrestling fan, but man, there is way too much wrestling junk at the toy shows we go to anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm all up for it. I want to try different shows. Like, and I want to go to some of the video game shows. Not that I'm there to buy anything, but I just want to like, I don't know, something about seeing all that stuff and being around it.
You don't want to necessarily buy anything?
The prices, I've been looking up some games that I've had and like, oh, let me get this one. I looked up one today. It was a DS game, Alien Infestation. I love that game. That was a great game. It's like $95 right now. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
I just, you know, you do know about how I feel about people with no shopping agenda.
I know. I'm sure I would come away with something, but it would be targeted. Like I even made a list of like, these are the Game Boy Advance games if I found I would buy.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I just like watching those YouTube videos. I would love to be there to wander around and look at things myself. So.
Well, that's the one. Like, I know we were talking. I think we're gonna go to that one in Woodbridge in February.
Woodbridge Toy Show. Yep.
Yeah, so that's something, and it's something we haven't been to. We'll see how it goes. But I really think we need to go to RetroCon in Pennsylvania in September.
Okay.
I've watched a couple walkthroughs of it, and if nothing else, it is quite full of wacky stuff.
That's what I'm looking for, the wacky stuff.
So there's very little modern stuff, thus it being RetroCon. But the people I was watching walk through, it's like, they're looking at lunch boxes, they're looking at like ET color forms and things like that, and like that's the kind of stuff I want to dig around in. That's the sort of stuff that I find interesting.
And I feel like that's the kind of stuff that's super rare at the shows we go to. Like there's the one guy you bought the things from, like he had some wacky stuff. You bought I forgot what they were called, the little Star Ears, yeah. He had some interesting stuff, but the bulk of it is just, I mean, you walk in, that one dealer has all Marvel Legends and Black Series, and I just don't have any like interest in that anymore.
Even that guy who has good stuff, it's toys. Like we don't go to places that have much ephemera. Yeah. And like, I'm very interested in that. I want to see the toothbrush holders. I want to see the metal garbage cans. I want to see like, which is funny.
I was gonna say, I want my ET tray that I used to eat my TV dinners on as a kid.
I want to see, like, that's the kind of stuff that I want to see. And currently we don't have shows that do that. No. So I want to start finding more shows that do that sort of thing. And I think this RetroCon one is a pretty good place to start. That's close enough that we can go without it being like a traveling thing. Okay. But I do want to, I want to go to more. I want to do more things.
We should start making a calendar of all the things, like what's happening over the year. Because I know there's ZoloCon, which I think ZoloCon is coming up soon. That might be February.
Yeah, I don't know if I need any Zolos.
They have all the. You got to go to their webpage because they're very big on Zolos.
All right.
Like it's every time you load something, and this dude with a sword, like it's just wacky. Yeah, but I'm all up for it. Bigger shows, smaller shows. I'm up for doing the flea markets, any kind of antique shows that come to town. Just looking, like you said, looking for the random.
We need to start looking into estate sales.
Yeah, that would be killer, right?
That's where you find the really bizarre stuff. Just pulling it out of this is morbid. Just pulling it out of some dead guy's basement. Like that's where you find the wacky stuff.
Yeah. We were at, like, I think we were looking at buying a house one day and we were doing a tour, and in the basement, it must have been someone passed away. He had random piles of G.I. Joe and Star Wars stuff. And I was just like, oh, does it come with the house? Like, but it did not. So we didn't buy the house. So I don't know. But it's like,
well, I wouldn't either if it didn't come with the G.I. Joes.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. All right. So this is 2026. Do something.
Do something.
Do something.
The only other thing really on my do something list is my plan is to go out to San Diego for the annual Rocket from the Crypt Halloween show again. One of my really good friends who lives in Indiana, who I don't get to see anymore, he and I are both turning 50 this year. So we want to kind of like, we want to both go out to that rocket show and kind of have it be like a little like slightly early 50th birthday party in Rocket from the Crypt land.
Well, that certainly is something.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yep. I have the usual somethings on the list, Legion's Con in November, Comic-Con in October, which this year was probably the most fun I actually had at Comic-Con. Like because I wish I had.
Is that what you're saying?
What is it?
Because I didn't go. Is that what you're saying?
I think that's what no, because you haven't gone for the past couple of years. It's been a few, but this year I actually went. I went to panels. Hasbro had a panel, then Alien Earth had a panel, and I actually stayed open to close, and I could have gone back had I had another ticket, for more, because I didn't feel like I saw everything. So I did actually go 2 days. I went Thursday and Saturday, or Thursday and Sunday. I don't remember, but I had a really good time, and I would like to do it that way again, hopefully this coming October.
Yeah, that's something that I don't think I want to go to, because that's not my focus. That's not the kind of stuff that I want to dig around. And there's not enough vintage stuff. There's not enough wacky stuff.
Oh, I think it was even less this year. Like I don't think the Dirt Mall was there really at all.
I have more than enough tapestries. I don't need any bootleg Dragon Ball Z tapestries.
But though I did see San Diego Comic-Con this year put a note out that no AI art will be allowed. So I'm hoping New York Comic-Con does the same.
Good.
Yep.
yeah, I that's most of I think what I wanted to talk about. Although we had discussed maybe like setting like a goal, setting
Oh
like
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
like what's something that we want to accomplish or acquire or do, maybe do and accomplish are kind of the same thing. But is there like one thing that you want to be held to? Like if you get through 2020, if any of us get through 2026,
Yeah,
if you get through
surviving would be a good
2026,
goal.
if you
Yeah.
get through 2026 and you have not accomplished this thing, should Tyler Durden come find you?
Let me think. Do you have something in mind? I'm thinking like of what I could possibly.
I don't have anything ultra impressive. Like I want to redo the shelves over on that side of the room. Like that's a big one. Like I would really like to do that. And I would really like to tick one or two like grails off the list.
Oh, okay. Any grails in mind or just anything?
The big ones, I'd really like to get that Dino Riders Tyrannosaurus this year.
Okay.
Like that's one that I'd really, but that one's also not just money. That one is extraordinarily challenging to find complete and not broken and not stormtrooper rotted. So I might not really have the opportunity to do that, but I'd really like to get that this year.
All right. Well, I thought of one that is a good one for Tyler Durden to hold me accountable. I want to get the posters that I've acquired framed and up on the wall.
I want you to do that too.
Yeah. I have many. I have the Star Tours poster from you. I've got these 3 Galaxy's Edge posters. I've got this Beetlejuice cartoon print. Like those need to be up and out. So that's a goal that if I don't get that done by end of the year, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. I'm gonna have my official like I really do want to get that Tyrannosaurus. I want to get some other things, but I'm gonna have my goal be to redo the shelves where I'm starting to put my vintage stuff. Like
Okay.
if I don't have that sorted out by 2027, Tyler Durden can come give me my driver's license back.
Yeah, same here. If I don't get rid of this crap that's on my floor, then I'm done. Stick a fork in me because I'm done.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Well, cheers to 2026. Lots of fun stuff. Oh wait, hang on. Let's get a life day. Good things happening. Good things to look forward to. We've got good plans, so I'm sure there'll be lots of good stuff for us to hang out and talk about.
Right, I also think we need a New Year's resolution. I think we need to try to plan the topics for this show a little more in advance.
Yes.
So if this didn't happen to be the most enthralling episode you've heard, it did come together very quickly today. So I think we should do that.
It comes at you fast though, because we cram for a show, we do the show, and then by the time I feel like we take a breath, it's always like, hey, are we doing a show? And it's like, oh damn.
Moving it to the beginning of the week has made it way more challenging in that regard to me, because I feel like on Tuesday you can look at Thursday and go, hey, we better think of something.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not really thinking about that on Friday.
Yeah. Nor on Sunday either. So.
No. So
I think in a couple weeks we can go back to our regularly scheduled time. So.
Yeah, but we need. I think that should be a goal for the show is to
yeah, we should go back to our list of topics and just kind of start creating that calendar of, okay, this is what we're doing next time.
Yeah. And our other goal should be to figure out a way to do this without having to give StreamYard way too much money.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
No, that's a good goal right there.
I think we have 63 days before we have to make a decision about that.
All right. Yikes. All right, cool.
So we'll be starting a Patreon.
Yeah, that's right. Please
to pay for our StreamYard subscription.
What is it? Like, comment, and subscribe, right?
Yeah. Smash that comment icon.
Smash that bell icon for notifications. I don't know, something like that.
Don't smash things. Treat your things with proper respect and care. I don't want you to smash anything. That would be horrible.
Hug that subscribe button.
Yes. Please.
Cool. Well, good chat. Good catching up.
Chat. Always good catching up. We'll be back next week talking about I don't know what, but maybe we'll decide.
2027. 2027.
What are you looking forward to in the 2030s?
I have things for 2027 on my list. Believe it or not, there are things that extend into 2027. Beyond the Spider-Verse is one.
Okay.
Hang on. What else is on this list? That might be it. Beyond the Spider-Verse, Spaceballs 2 is 2027.
I have about as much hope for that as I do the next He-Man movie.
Is not good.
So.
Probably not.
Well, Alan's freezing, so I think that's as good a time as any to wrap everything up. Hope everybody has a lovely rest of your week. As always, drive fast, take chances, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.
Oh, you're back. Okay.
Perfectly excellent.